Welcome to episode 7 of my series celebrating all things rural. I'm on the coast of Devon, on the quay in Clovelly, to meet Olly Hicks, the founder of Algapelago, to talk about how he is making undersea rainforests to accelerate marine recovery. Olly, you are a record-breaking explorer, adventurer, and what records have you broken, and how has that come for you to have a job on the sea?
Well, where to start? Well, when I was 12, my father cut an article out of a newspaper all about a guy who was trying to row across the Pacific Ocean, and ever since then I was captivated by the idea of rowing an ocean. And then fast forward sort of 10 years and I rowed the Atlantic from America to England in 124 days. And
on your own?
On my own, yeah. And that was my sort of boyhood dream come true. It was reasonably successful, got some records from it, and the sponsors from that trip, Virgin, then agreed to sponsor an attempt to row around the world, and another 3 years of project development, and I tried that unsuccessfully, but I did row across the Tasman Sea.
Wow.
It's the first sort of leg of that.
Okay.
And so that project's unfinished business, but I then...
Have you still got the itch to go back and potentially do that? Or?
Yeah, I would like to go back and finish that project,
okay.
But it's a biggie. It's,
okay.
That's a year and a half at sea, probably, certainly a year at sea.
On your own?
Yeah. And I think my wife and children might have something to say about that at the moment.
Yes.
And then I did a few kayak expeditions across the North Sea, and we did a big trip from Greenland down to Scotland by kayak, trying to prove that the Inuit had made that journey in the 17th century. And anyway, that was the last big expedition I did was 2016. Okay. And so now we are building these regenerative ocean farms, and that's pretty full-time, pretty full-on.
Okay, Olly, should we head out to the boat?
Let's go. We're going out with John. It's going to take us out about 3 miles out over there.
Yeah.
It'll take us about 15 minutes to get out. Look at these conditions we've got for you.
I know, it looks perfect, doesn't it?
Perfect.
Pea soup.
Yeah.
Lovely British weather. What are we going to see? Why are we going out on the boat?
We're going to go and have a look at what we call our regenerative ocean farm. So it's really a square kilometre of licensed area where we grow mussels, kelp, and we're doing some seabed restoration work. With the aim of the farm is that we can grow marine products, so kelp, mussels, oysters. We can sell some of those to the market, but at the same time as growing a useful product that we can sell, it also has a load of environmental benefits that improve the marine environment, clean up the water, improve fish habitat, increase fish catches, all that good stuff as well.
So it's basically a giant circle.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
That's the idea. That's what we're trying to prove.
Yeah.
So we've got the biggest licensed area in the UK to do this.
Wow.
And you'll see we're only in about 5-10% of that farm at the moment, but it's about a square kilometre, all marked off with buoys, and you'll see what we're growing in there at the moment.
And the idea is to then sort of do that in other places.
The idea is first to scale to our full licensed area here.
Yeah.
We're only in a small patch of it, just proving it, testing the concept. And the idea is we'll go from that farm to multiple others.
Amazing. Let's go see.
Algapelago we set up about 3 years ago, and I had a background. Well, the two relevant bits of background was I was building biomass power stations, so we turned wood chips into heat and power through power stations. So our job was we created a new market for the forest industry.
Yeah.
And then when I was also a trustee of a marine charity called 10% for the Ocean, and looking at 10% for the Ocean was looking at different forms of marine restoration and conservation.
Yeah.
And through that, I came across a lot of people working on seaweed cultivation, seaweed restoration, seabed restoration. Okay. And so seaweed's the fastest growing biomass in the world. So if
it takes such a short time for it to grow a lot.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So if you can take that biomass and do something commercially valuable with it, then you've got quite an interesting proposition. We live on a small island. Yeah. 2/3 of the UK real estate is underwater, so it's a pretty good place to grow seaweed. So that was the sort of starting point. So we'd made money out of wood chips. How could we make money out of seaweed?
Yeah.
So our really simple starting point was, let's understand how we can grow seaweed, how we can then convert it into a commercially viable product. And when we started, we just very simply thought, we're going to put in a big seaweed farm, we're going to grow seaweed and sell it to the highest bidder. And how wrong we were about how difficult it actually is.
Gonna be.
And so we've come a long way since then. It hasn't
and
got easier.
Why is it so difficult? Is that because of tides, swells, actually getting out to them? Weather like this suddenly comes in and you can't go and farm it. What are all the different problems?
Because it's a new industry, you've got to, a bit like if you started mining, but before you dig the mine, you've got to build the picks and the shovels to dig the mine.
Okay.
So we've got to do that. We've got to sort of start from scratch.
Are you the pathfinders of this type of production?
There's about four or five seaweed companies in the UK sort of looking at doing this at an industrial scale.
Yeah.
Our company view would be that this only works at industrial scale. It doesn't work to farm like 5 hectares, 10 hectares. You need to be looking towards hundreds and ultimately thousands of hectares. Yeah. And then you get a significant economic and environmental benefit. You're basically creating underwater rainforests with all of the habitat benefits and nutrient mitigation that goes along with that. And you then have a significant commercial output as well. As I said, the seabed is like a desert now.
Yeah.
All the shellfish reefs have been gone, they're destroyed.
Yeah.
And we're trying to create a system to bring them back.
Okay. And what do they need to thrive? Kelp, seaweed, nutrients?
Substrate, effectively.
Okay.
So they need something hard to grow on. So if you're looking at fish eggs, they'll often grow on the edge of rocks, reefs, kelp, kelp forests. So we're looking at a few different ways of doing it. One is installing basically clay bricks. You sink loads of clay bricks, and then you can seed that with mussel seed, oyster seed.
Yeah.
Another one is something called a tree reef, which is like a pyramid shape. It's old pear and apple trees, and you bolt them together to make a pyramid.
Right.
You put concrete feet on them, and you sink them down. And the branching complexity of those trees acts as basically an immediate reef. So you sink it in, then cuttlefish, squid, they lay their eggs on it.
Yeah.
So it's a very fast way of installing a reef, whereas if you do it with the brick approach, it would take 10 years to establish a oyster reef. So we're trialing a variety of different techniques to recreate the reef habitat as fast as possible.
Yeah. Amazing.
And then, so effectively you've got seabed restoration, then in the midwater you've got mussels growing on ropes, and then on the top layer you've got kelp.
Okay.
So in a natural environment, obviously the kelp's growing from the seabed up.
But
because we're in 30 metres of water here, we grow it from the surface down.
Wow, look at this.
Take that home for supper.
So tell us about this then. What is this? This is kelp?
This is kelp, sugar kelp. Saccharina latissima, this is.
Oh.
And it's quite a easily cultivated species, grows locally.
Okay.
So in the winter we catch the fertile material, which there's none on here, which is basically the sort of kelp eggs, kelp seeds.
Okay.
We then grow that out in a hatchery, and we grow it onto twine. And then you've got a big reel of twine.
Yeah.
And then you bring the twine out and you wrap it onto these bigger, what you call sort of carrier ropes.
Yeah.
Then it transfers from the twine onto these big ropes, and it grows like this.
Wow.
And it goes in seeded in October, and then harvested really in May. If you want it to be food grade, the highest quality is in May. Before it gets all this stuff, this is all called fouling, which is still just sort of parasitic growth on it.
Yeah.
So
it's
all right if you're using it.
It's much healthier down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So depending what you're using it for, if you're using it in some agricultural products, that would be okay. But obviously for food, you don't want that, on your sushi.
Yeah. Okay.
Whereas this is still fine,
It's very rubbery, isn't it?
You can eat that. It's lovely. Very good for you.
Really?
Good for the thyroid.
Did you actually just eat that?
Yeah.
You can eat it just like this?
Yeah. You like it? No, I didn't like it.
That is absolutely revolting. What's so cool about it is that it can be used for so many different things.
That's
look
what
at
that's
this.
what it's turned into.
No way. So on your
So it goes
sort
from
of
that to that.
Yeah.
Or where's the other one, Professor? What we call the green gold. This is the agricultural stuff it's turned
Okay.
into.
so that's a liquid form.
Yeah. So that's like a.
Oh,
That smells that strong because it's got a sort of stabilizer in, like an organic stabilizer in. It stops it rotting.
okay.
Um,
So that's the farming stuff.
that would be diluted with about 20 litres of water. You put it into a sprayer or a tractor, behind a tractor,
Yeah.
and you go out and spray your root crops, cereals, vegetables.
And so the regenerative farming world.
Yeah, that's what
love
we're talking
this.
to Groundswell about.
Love this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So we've
No
got lots of
chemicals,
trials going
all
on
natural.
with Rothamsted Research, James Hutton Institute, all these different sort of agricultural institutes, trialling it on wheat, cereal crops, root
Yeah.
crops, flowers, everything basically. Different soil types, different climatic
Yeah.
conditions. But you can also imagine this
sort
at
of
scale.
put it together.
You know, if you've got hundreds of these lines
Yeah.
across this 100 hectares, that's a hell of a habitat, fish habitat, and
Yeah. Incredible.
yeah, it is an underwater forest.
Yeah. It's amazing. Well, let's hope it flies because it's such a cool idea. And you know, if it can help nature and feed us and look after us, the whole
That's it.
circle of life. Yeah. It's a no-brainer, isn't
Perfect
it?
operation.
Yeah.
If we can make it work.
Everything that you've done in your expeditions and your adventures can come across into businesses like this, and you can say, well, actually I understand about the sea going that way and all those things that are so important that nobody else who's someone who hasn't done that couldn't go and start a business at sea like you have done.
Yeah.
You know.
There's lots of lessons that carry across, but the one they would talk about in startup land quite a lot is, you know, fail fast, and then fail fast again.
Yeah.
And you know,
And learn
Elon
from
Musk
that
is
quickly and don't make the same mistake again.
exactly. So we are learning to fail fast and then get it right the second time.
Yeah. So with Algapelago, what are your sort of future dreams with it? Where in 5 years, 10 years do you hope that it will be?
Cool, good question. So the 5-year vision for Algapelago, we've got some very boring paperwork which maps it all out. But I think, you know, physically, hopefully that farm will be entirely populated. We'll be producing about 3,000 tonnes of kelp a year, which would make us the biggest kelp producer in Europe by a long way. That will be then turned into a fertiliser or biostimulant and you know, sold around the UK to regenerative farms, into Europe as well. But almost more important than that is proving that this model of regenerative aquaculture and marine restoration as a system can go hand in hand. So we've got aquaculture growing the marine crops, but we've also got on the seabed a restoration system where we're reinstating the seabed as it was with mussel reefs, oyster reefs. That's becoming a fish nursery, so you're getting these incredible ecosystem benefits. That it's not just we're growing stuff and selling it, it's a much more holistic approach to business than that.
Yeah, totally.
And if we can prove that out, so, you know, we're not being particularly secretive about it, we can prove that out so that can be replicated around the UK, around Europe, you know, or globally. It's not rocket science what we're doing, but it's just trying to take all the elements of aquaculture, of good aquaculture and marine restoration, and plug them together. And we need a lot of the stars to align around policy and funding and everything else, but we are, you know, charging at it, but we're pretty stubborn, we're pretty determined, and we're making a good fist of it so far. So hopefully we just continue that momentum and that snowball effect, and we get more of these farms installed all around the UK.
And make a happy, healthy ocean, you know, underneath the sea, which nobody can see, but it's so important.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a happy and healthy ocean for sure, but even away from that, like, touchy-feely stuff, it's if we install that farm at 100 hectares, and that is effectively a forest, and you've got fish nurseries, say 20 hectares of restored reef could basically double the fisheries catches for North Devon. So that's like a really tangible example of why these things are important.
Wow. And also to touch on employment,
Yeah.
you know, to bring employment to local communities and bring everyone together and actually start offering, you know, new exciting jobs out at sea, mental health, getting outside, hands dirty, you know, it's all of that is encompassed into it. It's not just actually about what's under the sea either.
I mean, totally. I mean, not only will there be jobs on the farm itself
Yeah.
and in the restoration of what we're doing, but if you've got twice the number of fish in the bay and they're being caught, then it obviously supports fisheries jobs,
Yep.
fish processing, and then the ecosystem services, you know, cleaning the water supports the World Surf Reserve on the other side of the bay.
Yeah.
You know, so the benefits are pretty far-reaching.
Incredible. Well, I wish you all the luck, and I can't wait to see in 5 years' time where it is. I might have to come back and see it again then.
Absolutely. Come and
Yeah.
see us, and next time we'll go diving.
Yeah, oh God. I'm not sure I'm brave enough for that. Sharks. Thanks, Ollie.
Not at all.